Hello Forkies, this is day 26 of me playing chess every day until I reach the rapid rating of 2500. So here we go. And we finally have a game and we're playing against a very strong opponent and we have the white pieces and I will play the king's pawn and the Caro-Kann defense. So I like to play aggressively against the Caro-Kann defense and now pawn to f3. This is known as the fantasy variation and I'm simply trying to have a giant center here. And I will develop my bishop usually to c4 after takes, but queen b6, this is a very okay move, and now knight to c3 is the theory. Now either e6 takes or g6 has been played before, but maybe my opponent will surprise me with something like knight to f6. But yes, this is definitely a very pleasant position for white pieces, I believe. And I really like playing this kind of positions. Yes, after takes there is the move bishop c4 and you cannot really take this pawn back. This is kinda a gambit, but usually people play e6 and after takes, I mean, it's just okay. And I mean, I would like my opponent to play e takes on f3 and after knight takes I am not threatening, but I'm definitely castling, open f-file, open bishop, good knight, queen f3, checkmate on f7. So this is my plan, and yes, knight f6 can be tried, but then something like this happens, and I will develop my knight to f3, and after bishop g4 there will always be some weird sacrifices with my bishop taking the f7 pawn with check. And I really like these kind of positions, and I think you shouldn't really take this pawn at any moment of the game if you are black. But my opponent suddenly takes another pawn, which is kinda disturbing. And I think taking with the knight is correct, because if I take with the queen, I mean just e6, and where is my knight going? So knight takes. I mean there is no bishop g4 because I take. That is a very important tactical detail. After takes I have knight e5, then capturing here, and simply e6, and he is calling my bluff. But now I can simply castle here, c5, castles, c5. What is happening there? If takes I lose the bishop. So after castles, which has to be the correct move, c5, bishop e3 blunders the b2 pawn. So I need to be... Oh, but I have the move pawn to d5 there, and I should be fine. And then I can even take with the queen maybe. Castle c5 should be okay, yes. Or even knight e5 then. Just castles. And yes, my king is kinda exposed here. This queen is doing good job pressuring my position, but I still think this pawn sacrifice should be very pleasant for player with the white pieces. So we get knight to f6. I guess the idea is to play knight g4 if my bishop comes to e3 at any point of the game. Maybe I need to attack now, but how? That's the real question. Knight e5, I guess, but then bishop d6, and what is my plan? I guess my plan is to play bishop g5. But then my knight is free here because of this pin defending everything. So maybe king h1. But then I kinda let my opponent to consolidate here. But still, the open f-file and the rook sacrifice will be nice at some point. So king h1. I like this position, king h1, and now there are no longer any tricks going on in this position for black. And I will simply continue with knight e5, queen f3, and then queen h3, maybe bishop g5 taking, maybe sacking the rook in some positions. This bishop is very good, preventing any e5 ideas at any point, because then it's simply a monstrous bishop down this diagonal. I simply can't like draw the arrow, which is kind of disturbing as well. But I mean knight d7, yes, but you cannot really put your knight here, I guess. I mean, even if you do, then I have something like knight e5, takes, I get the open b-file, my bishop is still great here, bishop g5 coming, f7 pawn hanging all the time. f6 cannot be played because of queen h5. Okay, bishop b4 played, but I don't think this is much better than before. Now I'm even kind of threatening something. I mean, 95 castles. Rook takes is in the air always, and after here, I mean, the knight is hanging, which is kind of bad. Oh, but then just bishop h6, and if takes, I take checkmate. Oh no, the bishop is protecting the rook, so this is bad. But still, then takes, I guess I have some. But yes, we'll see. 95 definitely the best move. Although bishop g5 looks nice. Then simply takes, excuse me, and knight d5. In which case I can just take, and after takes I go here. If f6 I go here, here takes, which looks just too good to be true. What was I saying? Bishop g5 or 95? What was I calculating right now? Bishop g5 is what I was calculating, yes. Bishop g5, right? And if castles, I mean 95. Or even something else. But 95 just looks the best. And then something like here, maybe pressuring here, and then just checkmate. And the fact that this bishop is on b4 is definitely good for me. Bishop e7 was much more natural move in the position. I guess, yes, you are pressuring my queen side, but I mean, if you are getting checkmated, there is no help for you. So takes, and knight d5 is an idea, but I think it simply loses because after here, I guess there is knight c3, but then queen h5, g6. I mean, just takes, right? And then something like here, just... I mean, we will see and we'll calculate. We have 13 minutes left on the clock, which is enormous to calculate these simple tactics. And yes, my opponent has an extra pawn, and I guess bishop e7. I guess this is what my opponent needs to play. Bishop e7. And after bishop e7, I guess knight e5, queen b2 then. It's kinda getting a little bit tricky, but I mean, bishop e7 is very hard move to find. And at which point I can even play bishop b3. And I mean, trading the dark square bishops is always very nice for me, because I have light square attack, and this bishop, I mean, it's just a very bad piece. You cannot play e5 at any point. c5 doesn't work because my king is on h1. So my previous move, king h1 here, was a very important decision to be made. And yes, now castling is nice, but I mean, after knight e5, bishop e7, then I mean, I can then even sack the rook here and then play for some counterplay. And knight e5 played. Knight e5, excuse me. Wait, I calculated this one. After takes. Oh, I guess he takes with the e-pawn, but I think this doesn't change anything at all. There you go, still. Oh, but then there is bishop e6, so what about just knight e5? Firstly, I mean, it's just winning. f6 here. Here. Wait, why don't I just take here? Oh, because, yes, as I mentioned, there is bishop e6 at the very least. Takes, knight e5, bishop e6, queen f3, and then f6. But I still go here. After takes, there is bishop f7. Which is kinda unpleasant. So how to do that? Knight e5, f6. I take, winning. So after take here, takes. If takes here, I mean, just queen f3, I guess. Threatening this checkmate. Because of the bishop. Knight e5. Bishop c3, bc3, knight c3, queen f3 is game over. Fork on the knight and on checkmate, so knight e5. And yes, as you can see, I spent 1 minute and 3/4, but I mean, these kind of positions are really crucial to understand here and to get very good result out of this position, because it is a very complex one and you need to understand the move orders, because after, if I were to play bishop takes on d5, then simply e takes on d5. I get it, you are opening up the e file, but then simply bishop e6, and I don't think there is much to it. I guess there is queen f3, yes, but f6 is always a fork. F6 is always a fork, but now I have queen h5, so this is just completely game over. I mean, if you take, I can take the rook, but I can even take with check and then probably mate you somehow. And yes, oh, he castles. Okay, that's a move I didn't expect to appear on the board, because it seems like it's losing. I don't know why, definitely I don't know why. I mean, my instinct is to simply take here, although it allows here, so I can play queen f3, threatening here, which should be okay, because knight h6 and... Oh, but no, the bishop protects the rook, which is kinda annoying. But here there is f6, and after takes... No, I'm losing there. So I need to do something else. Bishop takes, pawn takes. So what then? Queen h5, f6, takes, wins the game. So g takes there, with my queen on here. But queen h5 threatens absolutely nothing. I guess it threatens bishop d3, and if h6 I simply take. But then f5 even. I mean, rook leave there. It's a very hard position and very nice one. Very nice one position. But if I play queen h5, then simply knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, bishop d3, h6, bishop takes, pawn takes, and queen g5, queen h, king h8, check, rook takes, and this is checkmate. Wow, unbelievable. I mean, bishop d3 is very hard to stop. Oh, but then g6 happens, not h6. But if g6, I go here and checkmate. Oh, the knight is here. Oh. Oh, I guess I can take here. And if f6, I go here, winning the game. g6, I simply take, checkmate. Takes here. f5. f5? What the hell? c3. Takes. Yes, I will do this. I mean, f5. Queen h5. g5. Wait, what? What exactly is wrong with queen h5? Just one little thing with knight f6? Well, yes, but I have so much else that queen h5. Winning the game, I believe. f6 is a very nice try, and after bishop d3 it simply loses on the spot. Because there is nothing. I mean, f6 looks like it wins a piece. But I mean, even bishop takes, pawn takes, and then something there. Even rook takes, and bishop d3. It is very hard to stop, but then I guess rook f5 giving away the material. But then there is checkmate, so you need to be careful. Always. f6 I guess loses on the spot because I can just sack everything and play bishop d3. Oh, but h6 then. Oh, okay. I of course am not attending, or I'm not preparing after f6 to take the pawn with my bishop, which should be a very bad move. Or maybe it is just winning. Some computers should find this very interesting. And after takes, even rook takes, and bishop d3. I mean, probably the f6 played on the board. I mean, this loses. Because if takes, then I have this very beautiful checkmate. So bishop d3. And I expect the resignation now, because this is lost. I guess you can move the rook, but come on. Oh no, just moving the rook loses, because if here, then there is queen f7 checkmate, so I guess there is f5 now. Oh my goodness. f5 now. Oh, I forgot that he can play f5. I guess this is an opportunity to play f5, but even then I'm pretty sure I have something. I'm pretty sure I have something, because this looks completely overwhelming. I mean, there gotta be something in there, right? And this is only move 12, and this is why I really enjoy playing Caro-Kann fantasy variation. I mean, in 12 moves, there is only one opportunity for my opponent not to lose the game on the spot. And yes, you played f6 and now you have to play f5. You lost once again, one more tempo, which in these kind of open positions, it is a very crucial thing to look after. f5 played, I guess, only move. And this is what I was looking forward. G4, but after knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, here, rook takes, bishop takes, excuse me, I'm lost. So, although even then I don't think I'm lost, but this is just too superficial. So after takes, I guess you have to take with this pawn, because otherwise the defense is kind of weakened. But yes, after, let's say, e takes c3 and then g5, here I can even sack and then take here and then win the game. So yes, takes. I mean, at least I was calculating here, but I don't think it works, because I have here, and if rook moves, I have, I mean, it cannot really move, but I guess it's checkmate then. So if my king were on g1, the things would be much different. Now that queen takes on d4 would be playable, but now it's not. So, but there is a decision to be made, and when low on time, these kind of decisions might take a big consideration. And yes, then c3 is my plan. You cannot really take the b2 pawn. I mean, I will just checkmate you, so taking useless pawns on the queen side won't help you at all. And now, I guess there is the move h6 always, but after bishop takes, pawn takes, queen g6, there is at least a perpetual check, and I think I have rook f3, rook h3, and some positions just rook left wins the game. And this is a very fun one, if I'm completely honest right now. And yes, it might very well end in a checkmate, and c takes on d5, which I guess is the correct option. And after c3, bishop d6, which is the only move, definitely. Bishop d6, do I have something there? I mean, I always have some checks, but I don't think I have right now. I mean, why should I play c3? I guess protects the pawn, but do I have something more? Like, something like this, and after takes here. It looks like I have something like that. Rook takes, g6, bishop takes, doesn't work. Or maybe it does and I'm just stupid. c3 here, g4 threatens to take, and after takes, do I have anything there? I'm not so sure about it. I mean, rook f3, rook f1, and here. Yes, I like this. Or just rook f3 now. Oh, I guess then there is c3, bishop d. I wanna protect the b2 pawn at some point. But do I really need to? This should be checkmate. Rook f3, queen b2, rook f1, queen c3, rook h1. Rook f3. Why not? Because there is no way to pick up the bishop. You are just too late in doing so. Or maybe you're not and I'm just... I don't know. But I always have perpetual check because of the bishop. So I have at least a draw with this. And I mean, if you take that here, I mean, I even have bishop takes on. Oh, this should be winning. So yes, attacking the rook, attacking the queen, attacking checkmate. And yes, this should be lost. Although, wait. Then there is rook f3, rook f5, and my rook is not defended here. But after rook here, I am still threatening checkmate with rook f8 and then picking up this pawn. So I'm pretty certain my chances of winning are extremely high at this point. I'm not sure what the engine evaluation is currently. I mean, there is here 97, but I mean, this looks nice. But I don't need to attack. I can defend the pawn and then I still attack. 97 now. Just takes and rook h. I mean, you will need to take this knight because it is just too powerful here. And I mean, doubling up on the f-file is okay as well. Then just pushing through on the f-file. And I like my position, but I'm not sure how winning or if winning this is. And we're only at move 15 right now. And my opponent is down to 6 minutes. g6 always loses the game because of this beautiful configuration checkmate. So yes, I like my position. Opponent spending time, but I think he needs to undermine my knight on e5 because it is clearly the best piece on the board right now. I believe so. Because f7 square is so important, the rook can't move because of this square. And after rook h3, maybe then you will take, but I mean, at that point I have a draw with here and here. Because this is just a perpetual check, if nothing more. g6, of course, check. Oh, yes, checkmate here. So then we need... Oh, then there is just queen g6 maybe. And rook here, if here, I guess. Yes, this is the configuration of checkmate, and I should be winning if I don't blunder something. And I don't even need the bishop on d3, so... Okay, bishop takes, pawn takes. Queen b2 now, definitely something to look for. But rook b1 then. Or maybe rook f1 then. And still, rook h3... I mean, h6 still loses. Still loses, definitely. And yes, I mean, g6 now. But then there are just too many holes in the position. g6 here, checkmate. Or checkmate. Or I don't know what kind of check. Oh, there is queen g6. And then this kind of checkmate if rook f7 happens. And I mean, when you are attacking, there is a lot more tactics. Or for example, this checkmate threat. Okay, now g6 I guess is a threat. So how to deal with g6? I mean, it's not a threat. No, g6 is never a threat. So I go here. And then I'm winning again. I mean, he's attacking this pawn. Do I need to be careful about it? I mean, h6 I will go back. If here, g6 I go here. If then takes, I take with checkmate. So rook h3, queen e5 loses. So here I guess h6 I go here. I mean, I can in fact sack the... Yes, I mean, this is just overwhelming attack. Or here, is it just over? Or it's not? Oh, I said I have... It should be over. Let's say, let's put it that way. I mean, this is just... g6 happens. What? I don't understand this. Bishop f6 defends the pawn. I guess there is knight d7, which saves the day. Oh no! Oh! There is no knight d7. Oh! I'm so lucky right now. I'm so lucky right now. Yes, but this simply... I mean, what does it do? Okay, I guess he's threatening the pawn, but after bishop f6 he's not. 6? What is the configuration then? I mean, this needs to be played. I mean, pawn, knight takes, queen takes, checkmate. So rook f7. Rook f7. Oh, this is how I'm going to checkmate him. Okay, this is something. But after rook f7, I need to defend the pawn firstly, because knight defends the pawn. Oh, damn it. That's the way. Let's go. Rook f7, rook e1. And this is how I'm going to checkmate him. I guess he can try to run, but that's not particularly challenging to face. I can still then sacrifice because he needs to get to e8. So I guess here, and to e8. That's like the only way of surviving. But king f8 and king e8. I mean, I'm still, even if I'm not mating him, look at this attack. g4. Definitely g4 at some point will need to be played. And then I get the passer. And... excuse me for that. My computer is about to... Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. a5. He's simply not seeing the idea. That's like my guess now. He's not seeing the idea. No, he's lost now. There is king f8, but I still sack the rook, because this is still checkmate due to my bishop here. If rook takes, I take with... It doesn't matter how I take, I will still make... Then, after rook takes, I can take with the queen and I'm winning. Anyway, I mean, just h4, h5 is an idea. King f8 takes and king e8 is the only way of surviving this one, but still, even then, I don't like. his surviving chances because I can then grab everything. And yes, maybe I will only be like slightly better out of this attack if king f8 and king e8, but then I mean when these 3 pawns fall, everything will start to collapse in my opponent's position, so I should be much better at this point. King, I mean, I'm not sure if my opponent realizes how good this move is, so I'm not sure if he will play king f8 or not, but king f8 doesn't do anything, so yes, it's kinda challenging to face all this pressure when playing Caro-Kann. You are expecting something solid, something not easy to play, but I guess easy to play as well, but you usually get okay positions. You don't get a big mess on the board and then you start to think, am I lost or am I not? And now just a brilliant rook sacrifice. I won't shout, but still, this is checkmate now. So I'm not sure why he took my rook, but okay. This is checkmate, and he's challenging me for one more game. Excuse me, I am recording the video. And knight to e7. Oh, knight e7. I guess I didn't saw that, but still, I mean, h4 h5 taking, and then knight e7 was the only move, yes, or giving away the exchange and then taking with the pawn, and you still have a lot of attack. h4 h5. But let's analyze the game. E4 c6, trying to play d5 and challenge the white center. Now d4 d5, and I am now currently deciding what to play on when playing classical over the board chess. Maybe I will start to play e5, maybe I will start to take and then play c4. But for now, online, I am just holding tight to my fantasy variation. And this is just equal. But okay, after queen b6, I should be slightly better. And after takes, bishop c4, as you can see, the top engine move. And now taking the pawn is really not that good. Because after knight takes, e6 is the only good. And after castles, you can see all this pressure here. With my knights, with my queen. And this should be much better for me. So knight f6 and king h1, which is okay. Bishop b4, just unexplicably mistake. You should play bishop e7, just holding tight to your defenses here. And then after something like knight g5, castles, and queen bd3, just threatening rook takes here. So knight bd7, and position is around level. And after something like knight c to e4, I guess you cannot really trade, because here simply loses because of this checkmate. So this is just one of the ideas. So after king h1, bishop b4 was played, which is bad, and now bishop g5 and knight to d5. Now knight e5 was the correct move indeed, and I played it, which I am very proud of. And after castles, queen h5, another great move. f6 simply loses on the spot. Bishop d3, the best move in the position, and now f5. And after knight takes, this was the best move. Now rook f4 was the best move, or a rook f3, I guess. What's the difference? Oh, rook f3 doesn't defend the pawn here, so rook f4 defending the pawn and threatening here. I guess this was what I missed here, yes. And I played c3, which is the second best move, but it loses part of my advantage, but I'm still winning by the computer. After bishop d6, I played rook f3 now. After bishop takes... Oh, I should have played rook h3. Wait, what? Rook h3 if I do nothing. King f7. And bishop... Oh my goodness. What a move. What a move. Bishop e2. I haven't seen that. And that's like... Okay, that is g4 as well, but... I mean, finding bishop e2 after bishop takes on e5, calculating here and then seeing bishop e2 is very impressive. So I simply took back, which is... I mean, by the computer I guess it's still winning, plus 1.5, but it's not as much. But queen c7 I'm now winning. And queen h4, yes. The idea is you cannot take the pawn because this is checkmate. And I'm getting on on the dark squares. So after knight to c6, I was expecting knight d7, but after knight d7 this is simply checkmate, so I realized that this is not possible. So after knight to c6, bishop here, I am defending the pawn. I guess something like rook e1 was playable as well, but bishop f6 the best move. The idea is after takes, queen takes, this is checkmate once again. So after bishop f6, rook f7 defending h6 once again was played. Now rook a1, and after a5 this is simply lost. I mean, just rook g3, and after here just take, and this is checkmate. And yes, the idea was, he saw that my idea is here and then take here, so I don't know, I guess king f8 makes sense, but knight e7 was the best move. But if something else happens like a4, then simply here, and this is checkmate once again. There is nothing else to be said about this game. And yes, I won a pretty tactical game, which I am very proud of. And if you like the video, please consider subscribing, it would really help me out. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye!